My daughter, what are you preparing for dinner? I don't run a restaurant, Jane cut in sharply. If you are hungry, cook for yourself or go back to the village. I never invited you here. The room fell into a heavy silence. You are leaving already? I am not welcome here. Then she added, her eyes filled with regret. We chased away gold and brought home fire. Mabel arrived in the city with a small bag, the little money her parents had saved, and a heart bruised but determined. The city did not welcome her. It moved fast, loudly, and indifferently. People brushed past without a glance, and for the first time she felt truly alone. Her dreams from the village seemed fragile, dwarfed by towering buildings and endless streets. She remembered stories her grandmother once told her, how in African folk tales, the brave never faltered even when the world seemed against them. Mabel rented a cramped room at the city's edge, bare walls, a thin mattress, a shared bathroom that never felt clean. At night, she lay awake listening to unfamiliar sounds, fighting back tears, reminding herself why she had left. This is better than staying where I was broken, she whispered to herself, echoing the wisdom of countless African stories of resilience. Finding work proved harder than she imagined. She moved from shop to office, clutching worn documents, hearing the same rejections over and over. We're not hiring. You don't have the experience. Leave your number, we will call you. They never did. Days became weeks. Money dwindled. Some nights she ate once. Other nights she slept hungry, staring at the ceiling, wondering if leaving home was a mistake. There were quiet, dangerous moments when she thought of calling Jerry, but she did not. Eventually, Mabel found a woman braiding hair by the roadside who needed help. Mabel joined her, assisting while learning. The work was exhausting, the pay barely enough, but it kept her alive. She watched women her age walk past in neat clothes, laughing, and wondered how her life had taken this turn. The loneliness was heavier than hunger. There were no familiar faces, no one to ask how her day went. She missed her parents terribly, but lied on the phone saying she was fine. She cried silently, not for Jerry anymore, but because starting over was harder than heartbreak. Yet something inside her was changing. She learned the city's rhythm, which buses to take, which streets to avoid, how to stretch little money across many days. Slowly, she learned herself. One evening, while braiding a customer's hair, she overheard a conversation about a free skills acquisition program, basic computer use, bookkeeping, and office work. She enrolled immediately, working half days to attend the classes, earning even less, but she showed up. At first, she struggled, embarrassed to ask questions, afraid of failing, but she did not quit. Weeks later, she secured a modest office assistant role, nothing glamorous, but steady. For the first time since leaving the village, Mabel earned a paycheck that covered rent and allowed her to eat without counting every spoonful. She stood in her small room, holding her first payslip, and cried, not from pain, but relief. She was still learning, still healing, still struggling, but she was standing on her own. And for the first time in years, Mabel realized she had not left the village to escape shame. She had left to find herself. Life settled into a rhythm, not easy, but manageable. She woke before dawn, prepared meals to last the week, and left for work with quiet determination. Her office, small and tucked above a printing shop, gave her something priceless: stability. Her supervisor, Mr. Lawson, noticed her punctuality, willingness to learn, and dedication. He said one afternoon, "Your focus and growth are remarkable. I have no doubt you will accomplish great things." Those words stayed with her. Mabel began speaking up, asking questions, volunteering for tasks she once avoided out of fear. She enrolled in evening courses, investing part of her salary, no longer waiting for permission to improve herself. Slowly, people saw her differently, not as the quiet village girl, but as a woman growing into her own strength. It was during a routine office errand that she met Daniel, calm, steady, and respectful. They crossed paths repeatedly at the stationery store. At first, polite nods, then short conversations about work, the weather, the endless traffic. One day, Daniel noticed her fatigue. He said, "You work late often. Make sure you rest sometimes." No one had said that in a long time. Their friendship grew slowly. Shared lunches, small laughs, conversations about ambitions and disappointments. Daniel never asked about her past until she brought it up. When she told him about waiting, humiliation, and the village, he did not interrupt, did not pity her. He simply said, "That must have taken a lot of strength. I'm glad you chose yourself." Those words healed something deep inside her. One evening, her phone buzzed, an unfamiliar number. "Jerry, I heard you left the village. Are you doing well?" Her heart skipped, but not in longing, in surprise. She stared at the screen, then set it down without replying. She realized the man who once controlled her emotions no longer had access to her peace. Later, she stood before her mirror, studying the woman she had become. She was not wealthy, not famous, not fully healed, but she was free. Free from waiting, free from begging for love, free from believing her worth depended on a man's return. She whispered softly, "This time I will choose someone who chooses me." Meanwhile, the first months of Jerry's marriage were nothing like he imagined. Jerry had been drawn to Jane from the very first moment he saw her. She moved with grace and class, yet there was something soothing about her presence. What finally convinced him to marry her was how caring and respectful she appeared to be. During their courtship, she made genuine effort, cleaning his house before he returned from work, preparing warm homemade meals, and making him feel valued and cherished. At the time, Jerry believed he had found perfection, a complete package wrapped in one woman. But as told in many African folktales, not every beautiful beginning leads to a peaceful ending. After marriage, everything changed. Jane no longer cooked. When Jerry came home hungry and exhausted, he often found her stretched out on the couch, endlessly scrolling through her phone. Whenever he complained, she dismissed him casually. "If you're hungry, go and buy food or make it yourself." She left the house without explanation and returned late, offering nothing more than a careless shrug. "I had a life before I met you," she said once, unbothered. "I don't owe you explanations for everything I do." At first, Jerry tried to reason with himself. He told himself it was just a phase, modern independence, adjustment, something that would pass. But as time passed, nothing changed. Instead, Jane's arrogance grew sharper, cutting him in ways he had never anticipated. The home they shared felt cold and empty, nothing like the warmth Mabel had once brought into his life. When his mother announced she would spend a week with them, Jerry felt a quiet sense of relief. Perhaps her presence would restore balance. Perhaps Jane would soften. The first day was polite, but tense. Jane greeted his mother with a brief smile and distant courtesy. There was no warmth, no genuine welcome. The second day passed without food. Finally, his mother asked gently, careful not to offend, "My daughter, what are you preparing for dinner?" Jane didn't look up. "You can use the kitchen if you are hungry. I'm not a maid." The words fell softly yet heavily. Jerry froze. His mother stared at Jane, unsure she had heard correctly. By the third day, the tension had thickened. Jane left the house and returned late as usual, while his mother sat alone, uncomfortable, ignored, unwanted. That evening, his mother tried once more, her voice respectful but strained. "In our home, when elders come..." "I don't run a restaurant," Jane cut in sharply. "If you are hungry, cook for yourself or go back to the village. I never invited you here." The room fell into a heavy silence. Jerry's chest tightened. This wasn't misunderstanding. This wasn't modernity. This was pure disrespect. His mother said nothing. She simply stood up and walked away. That night, Jerry couldn't sleep.
Images of Mabel filled his mind, her humility, the way she treated his family with respect. And like in many African stories, regret crept in quietly long after pride had already made its choice. On the fourth morning, his mother quietly packed her bag. "You are leaving already?" Jerry asked, panic rising in his voice. She replied softly, sorrow weighing down her words, "I am not welcome here." Then she added, her eyes filled with regret, "We chased away gold and brought home fire." Her words sounded like the closing warning of an old African tale, short, heavy, unforgettable. She didn't mention Mabel's name, but the truth hung in the air like smoke. As she left, Jane did not come out. She offered no apology, no pretense. And in that moment, Jerry fully understood the depth of his mistake. He had not married a better woman. He had married a harder life. Somewhere far away, the woman he had humiliated and abandoned was learning how to live without him.